Today's show is brought to you by Oldie But Goodie. You know, the OG's DraftKings Sportsbook. We talking about, America's top-rated sportsbook and app. Not only are they safe, Deke, but they are secure and they are reliable. Just like you, man, might I add.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
It's the least we could do. I'm in a good mood since the good guys won this week. But with that being said, for all the first time you
and my picks hit too, so I hope you guys took the advice on our segment there. Yep.
This is facts.
Steelers Jags parlay.
We not messing around. So with that being said, if you use the promo code MOATS, for all the first time users out there, if you use the promo code MOATS, you'll receive up to $1,000 in deposit bonus money. Like I said, man, it's a great concept. You put your money in, they match it. It's that simple. Can't go wrong with it, all right? And we know we got postseason action, so you definitely don't want to miss out on that. But more importantly, Deke, we know that at times people have a little bit of issue. We know at times, Deke, you might need some legal advice. You might have a gambling problem.
Mm-hmm.
You might have a little bit of a crisis that you need some counseling through. Referral service, boy, you know what I would tell them?
What's that?
If you have a gambling problem, you just call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-GAMBLER, ladies and gentlemen. Defeating the Baltimore Ravens 16-13 in overtime. Man.
God's plan.
Yeah, definitely God's plan. I know for me, watching the game, it was crazy. In terms of just the 5 quarters of it, right? And the ebbs and flow throughout it. Starts out, we're not having the success that we want to have. And it's paired with, like you talked about, seeing Jacksonville come out the gate hot, winning. And you're just like, man, are we really about to let this opportunity slip away to Tyler Huntley? And it's not like a shot at Tyler, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
he wasn't good yesterday either.
He was not. He played.
He had some nice runs, but that was about it.
Yeah, he played like what a lot of people expected him to play when he took over. And obviously he has surprised us with his productivity, but yesterday definitely looked more like Tyler Huntley that I'm sure a lot of people were anticipating seeing. Athletic, but at the same time, not as athletic as Lamar. Can make some throws, but not the most accurate or consistent passer. And he's a guy that will make multiple mistakes. And unlike Lamar, he can't overcome them with elite level athletic ability. That showed up. And yeah, it was great to see. And I do think that it wasn't just him playing bad, and it wasn't just the elements, because I know people would throw that in there as well. I do think defensively, we did some really good things to mix up the coverages and make him have to beat us with his arm. Similar to what teams have been doing to us at times this season, where you're going to face, tight man to man, and you're just going to have to throw a guy open. But at the same time, we're going to pressure you a little bit, whether it's simulated or blitzing, because it makes you speed up your clock. And we saw that's where he struggled. When he had time to kind of sit back there and go through his stuff, he made some good throws. But in that second half, especially in that fourth quarter and overtime, this is where I started laughing. I'm like, Coach T got him in the mixer right now. And because he was the DC yesterday. But remember, it was like, you go watch. He's either going to give you...
I forgot about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So he was either going to give you pressure, and he's going to play man-to-man behind it, or he was going to give you the simulated look where it feels like pressure, and TJ was either going to win or Cam was going to win, and it was going to drop coverage. But Huntley couldn't figure that rhyme or reason out. And watching him, you would see, and that's why I felt like in that second half, he struggled so much more compared to that first half where he was having some moments. Another guy I want to talk about, Coach Tomlin's performance, right? And just in the sense of, we talked about, no Keith Butler out there, so he takes over as the DC spot, but just him as a defensive coordinator, I think he still has it. That's one thought. I think he still has it, bro.
Is it time to give him the keys?
I think he still has it.
Give himself the keys for the run?
Listen, bro.
The playoff run?
Listen, as I was rewatching the game, Deke, I'm over here like, saucing it like that. I'm watching how he's cooking. I'm like, oh,
it's time,
Coach, you filthy with that one.
For this run, I think it's time.
I'm a junkie with it, man. I was watching some of this stuff. I'm like, bro, I ain't seen this all season. I know what this is. I know when you got the controls. You know how it is. If I'm playing a game versus you playing a game, like, you're gonna be, I'm gonna do it this way. If I'm gonna go over here, like, you could tell it's certain things I'm watching. I'm like, bro, that screams Coach Tomlin, and I love it. So yes, I would not be against that. I would definitely be for that, bro.
How does that work?
Yeah, I do not know. I don't know. I would definitely be for it though, man. Oh,
Butler just has extended COVID.
Oh man, it worked with Green.
No, he came back.
Oh, you're right. It didn't work with Green. Does he have a calf injury? We need a calf injury. Is something wrong with your calf, coach? Is that was That's all, man.
Yeah, I mean,
for the run,
it didn't
though?
feel like we lost anything clock management wise. I actually thought the clock management was good.
Now, I will say this: I still don't like. Oh no! Continue, because I was going to talk about the a little bit of the run stuff that popped up, but
on defense,
yes, but I can explain that as well.
The only thing clock management wise that pissed me off was. I think we let 10 seconds go by in some type of scenario where we should have taken a timeout immediately. Yeah. I can't remember when it was. I think it was late in the game, but it wasn't the end of the world because we ended up taking the timeout.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything egregious. So if you're telling me this defense is sauteed up a little bit better than usual.
And honestly, and I'll even talk about the run game too. The intensity, the style of calls, I loved. The number is ballooned, but I can legit point to two runs. Right. It's 2 runs that legit ballooned it. We know the big touchdown run, the 40, 50 yard, and then Latavius had another one. I think it was like a series or 2 after that.
I think he had 3 runs that probably totaled 100 yards.
But what happened on all 3 of those runs, bro? We misfitted at the linebacker spot.
Bush.
It wasn't on him though. I will say it wasn't.
What
on
about
him.
The touchdown? Because I did see the blocker kind of blowing him off.
It wasn't on him.
It wasn't.
It was not. He fitted. Was
explain.
He overran it. So, and the only reason it changed because it was a puller. It was a backside puller, and when you have the backside puller, you like if it was no puller, Spillane would have played it right. But with the puller, it's an extra gap. So for him, with the puller, he takes his block, goes front side. But Minka's front side because you got Devin Bush on, forcing it. Minka was supposed to be filling, and then Spillane will be the backside guy. But with the puller, you can't play like that. You got to stay backside of your Spillane. And with that, he hits him thick, goes here, and that's where Murray goes. And that's why you see Spillane, you'll see Minka to the left of him, and then you see Bush over there. I'm like,
So Bush, not a bad performance.
If we just paused it, we was good. We're going in the right direction. Right. I call my guys.
That's all we need to hear.
I literally have them as the 4 horsemen. That's what I call these guys because Marcus Allen, he still got some snaps and he did some good things.
Yeah.
Spillane did some good things. Schobert and Bush did some good things. It was one play in particular. Bush had I forgot who he was in. I think it was Andrews. Andrews had the completion down the middle of the field.
Yeah.
Bush gets him down though. And I'm like, man, if Bush isn't playing with effort, he's not going to catch. He's got to make that play because it wasn't like he had gotten beat. When I was watching it because it's still the TV copy, I got to wait probably another day for the all 22 so I can see the full coverage. But it looked like it was a zone, and Andrews just he found the middle part of it. But from there, Bush had to go catch him. And I was like, okay, it's good to see number 1, Bush playing hard, but number 2, still can run fast. I know we talk about the knee, but it's like, nah, you can still do that. And to me, that was big because in certain parts of that game, man, it was certain plays like that where even though it's not a tackle for loss, even though it's not a 1-yard gain, you simply getting this guy on the ground makes them have to execute another play. And I personally felt
that was late in the game,
right?
Too.
And it felt like the longer the game went and the more Huntley and the Ravens had to execute and put plays together, they were going to mess up. Where the TJ was going to get a sack or they were going to throw a pick or something was going to happen negative for them. We all felt that. So when I would see Devin or Marcus or Spillane or Schobert make one of these tackles, it's like, this is perfect because he got to snap that ball again. As long as he got to snap that ball, we got a chance. And it showed yesterday, man. That was one of the things that I said, for my 4 horsemen right there. I did like that.
I'm with you. Those running numbers are so inflated.
They are, bro.
Huntley got some
plays, bro.
Huntley got some too from broken plays, scrambling around a little bit. And then you're right with Latavius Murray. Whenever you see the final stat line, was in 150. Yeah, 3 of those came off, 100 of those yards came off 3
runs.
Yeah,
yes.
exactly.
Absolutely,
so
bro. Absolutely.
I actually thought they played pretty good. Like second half, it was like we made stops when we needed to.
Overtime as well, because we knew they were going to try to run the ball. But the thing was, man, I will say this: those guys, the linebackers, the D line, they fired off that rock. They were coming downhill. Even our O line was firing off the ball. Like I think it was maybe 1 or 2 plays that Calais had like legit ragdoll somebody, and we know it's Calais. But it wasn't a ton of that going on with our O-line. But I love the mentality that our defense played with yesterday. Our front seven guys, they looked like they were going to be ready for a fight. Just 4 quarters, we're going to punch you till one of us drop first. And that was the energy with it, man. I loved it, though.